Awesome. Thank you so much, Tara, for the introduction. And I just want to reintroduce myself. I am Empress Lanice. I am the founder of Empress Lanice Public Relations Agency. So I started off as a publicist. I'm still am a publicist, but I also grew and love, have new interests in website design and website development. Just a little bit of background about myself. I've been doing public relations for 10 years. And also, I have a degree in PR. It wasn't like it just popped up out of nowhere. I have a degree in public relations, and I'm currently getting my master's degree in library and information science, which actually helped me love even more the art of website design because I'm learning a lot about user experience and user interface, which is all important things. However, today I am going to just touch base on the basic essentials of why you need a website. So let me just pull this up for you guys. So yeah, so how to have your website work for you. So I'm sure that majority of you are entrepreneurs, you have your own business, but sometimes you may be like, well, why do I need a website? I can just use social media. So we're going to get into a little bit of why you need to have one and how to make it work for you. All right, so here's the agenda. So of course, starting off with purpose of your website, ways it can help your business transactions, and how it can help grow and maintain your customer relationship. Now, if you have a website already, we will actually do a little fun activity of how we can, well, just seeing how your website is, seeing how we can evolve it, or if you're just doing a great job. So, next is the purpose of your website. So, just as a friendly reminder, because oftentimes we forget why we're doing things. So, with this, I just wanted to reiterate the purpose of your website. So, it's to inform, educate, and convince potential customers or clients on why you are the best company to provide a service or why you have the best products. So, how many times someone said to you, I have a service or a product? The first thing that you probably think of is, what's your website? Or if you're like myself, a millennial, we're like, what's your Instagram? And then for myself personally, I check in your Instagram bio if you have a website. So oftentimes it still leads back to the website because the website builds your authority, it builds your credibility. So you want to make sure you have that established. And just to throw this out there, even though I'm not going to touch on it tonight, it also helped with their search engine optimization. So if you ever hear people talk about SEO, 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 like that search engine optimization and what it does, it helps people find your business. So if you provide a service like myself, public relations, it could be finding public relations in New York. That could be some of the keywords that you're using within your website. So when people type that in Google search or Yahoo or Bing, they can your business can pull up on a list of those that qualify with those keywords. But tonight I'm not going to get into that, but I just wanted to like throw that out there of all the different ways of how your website can be beneficial. All right, let's see. So yeah, so how has it changed? So of course, when it first started, it was just full, websites were just filled with information. It had a plethora of information. But now, because of fintech, which is financial technology, so if you haven't heard this lingo before, fintech is very popular right now. And fintech is technologies that's used to process transactions. So you can sell products and services by connecting platforms such as PayPal, Stripe, Square, WooCommerce, Payments, just to name a few. And you can also create online portals to engage and manage projects for your clients. Because in the past, it was really, like I said, it was just informational. But now you can really engage on your website with your clients without having to use multiple platforms or doing old school ways of writing down things on notepads, or however you may be currently doing it. So if by this point you may still be having these thoughts, I can use my Instagram or Facebook page to sell my products and services. I can use a Cash App, a Zelle, or Venmo to do my transactions. I'm good. I'll just call, send an email, or text people information about my services to maintain our relationship. By the way, that one is a lot of work, but I am going to share some stuff later of how you can minimize that. I have a website, but I really don't use it. I don't see the benefit. I'm sure there's probably many people that's experiencing that now. Websites are expensive. I'll manage without. Or what if I use an app instead of a website? Because apps are becoming very popular. But I always say to still have a website as your foundation. All right. So here are, let me just actually move this out of the way. I know you guys can't see it, but here are the benefits. So it saves you time. You can send prospective clients to your website for information about services. So just think about your business practices now. How often do you have to tell people what you do and your services? And it's like you trying to make sure that you don't miss out on any information. What you can do is when you're at a networking event or just engaging with people, you can give them a brief synopsis, but just say, hey, go to my website and see all my services there. It gives you a full breakdown. If you're interested, then I can go further into how I do my services. So you just want to be able to utilize your website to provide as much information as possible, but as well as you're not overwhelming others. So now also your website is yours. So with Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, etc., if it shuts down, you don't have access to those, followers or customers. It's all gone. If you, I don't know, the demographic, but I remember MySpace. I'll even say this might be super throwback, Sconex, Mahente, Black Planet. This was where like we all were like engaging with each other. But except for MySpace, all of those are gone. I don't even remember half the people that I was connected to on these platforms. If they weren't my friends in real life, like I don't have access to them anymore. So you want to look at Instagram, Facebook, Twitter the same, but with your website, you have full control over it. You have full control over your customers. You just have access to it, and your customers can always find you. So if those platforms did go down, they can easily go to your website. So now let's say that you can also have one place for your clients or prospective clients to engage with you, including paying for services or products. A lot of people look at websites as just product space, where you can't put services up there where people can pay and transact there, but you can. So, like for myself, to do a consultation, you do have to pay a consultation fee. I have that connected to my website. So it's not like you have to necessarily, and I am using a third party, but I was able to integrate it into my website where I don't have to send you into different like platforms. It's just go to my website, elpragency.net, and just schedule a consultation. Keep it as simple as possible. And you can do that with other services too. You can even set up invoices. There's many other tools that you can connect with your one website to provide all of this accessibility of doing transactions. It doesn't necessarily have to always be a product that you're selling. You can also integrate other platforms, pretty much what I was just saying, platforms into your website to make it easy to track things in one place. So as I mentioned, like I am using a few third parties, but I don't have to send each of my clients to these different third parties websites to do certain transactions. I could still say, go to my website, elpragency.net, because everything is set up in that one place. You can also generate new leads. So if you want to set up forms on there, whether if it's forms for an event, whether if it's forms for email newsletters, this is all bringing people back to your website. So I want you to look at your website as your brick and mortar, but it's really your click and mortar. Like you can, this is where people go into your office to get all the information that they need, to get the brochures, to get where they can pay for the services and check out. Like, look at your website as that. Don't look at your website as just something to have because you need to have it. Actually utilize it to grow your business. And then also there's things that you can use is learn how your audience's behavior is on your website. So there's tools like Google Analytics that you can connect to your website that will actually tell you how your customers or potential customers are doing, where they're coming from. So like I can see if, let's say, MP Services put my website on there, put the link to my website on their website. If any of you guys click on that, I can see that they came from mpservicesdc.com. Like I can see that, or I can see that they came from Facebook, or I can see that they came from Instagram. So you want to be able to know what your audience is doing, because that means, let's say if Instagram is your hotspot, you're getting all of the traffic from there, then that means you keep doing what you're doing on Instagram. Let's say that Facebook or Twitter is not doing so good. So it's like, okay, maybe let's not put energy and time into Twitter and Facebook. But it's like you can track all of that of how people are engaging with you on your website, because sometimes people may not like, may not comment on the post, but they might click that link to see what it is that you're doing. And that's still good to have. So just look at it in a broader sense for your website. All right. And then, of course, there are challenges. Um, you may not be tech savvy, so there will be a learning curve. You don't have time to update your website. I think that's probably like the number one thing for most of us. You don't know what to put on your website. You're not a website designer or UX or UI designer. And UX stands for user experience, and UI stands for user interface. So the difference is UX is the look of your website, and UI is the functionality, like where are people clicking? Where are people going to get access to your information? So if you ever come across that term, you know that there is a purpose for UX and UI designers. Also, your challenge might be it's not in your budget to hire someone to design and maintain a website. These are all valid challenges. However, we don't want this to slow our business down or miss out on opportunities. So I have some solutions that we can possibly use. And if there's any other challenges that comes to mind, like feel free to share that in the chat, ask a question, and I'll answer them. So some of the solutions, if you have the budget, then you can hire someone to design and maintain the website for you. They can take that right off your plate. Um, you can create a schedule on how often you want to update the website. Planning ahead can eliminate the concerns of not having time. So I've learned that if my plate is full, to get a bigger plate. So that means I need to look at my schedule, see how I can dedicate time to get certain things done. So if you are the type of person that you are a DIY, like you do it yourself, but your reason is that you don't have time, schedule the time in, dedicate, whether if it's 15 minutes, 30 minutes to an hour of getting the content at least for your website together, and then slowly start working on building it out. Also, there are many website builders that have templates for you to input your information and guide you on what to put on your website. Plus, it is cost effective, so you don't have to necessarily hire a designer. You can just purchase a template and just fill in the information. And most of the time, the templates that they have, it'll tell you like what section. This is your about section. This is your mission section. This is your services section. And you just, fill in what it is that you want to fill in. Or this last one is an old school way, but I recently got a reminder. Like you could probably hire an intern who is majoring in website design and UX or UI design and content strategy that doesn't mind working for you and helping you, because that helps their portfolio. Because like as I am in school right now, there's a lot of projects that we have to do. And some of these students don't have experience or as much experience as I do. So it's good to see and reach out to like the school and say, hey, do you guys offer any opportunities for where students can work with other businesses? Because what I realized, they're always looking for projects. The professors are always looking for businesses to work on for the students to use for the projects. So like now I know when I'm done with school, I'm going to say, hey, for this particular class, it would probably be like digital analytics or user experience or user design. Hey, does your department needs a business to work on for a project for the students? I'm willing to volunteer. And more than likely, they're going to say yes because they're looking for it, right? So that could be an opportunity for you as well for any school that has website design or UX and UI design. All right. So now you have a website. Now what? The first thing that I want to talk about, which is like one of the most important things, is your home or landing page appealing to your prospective clients? So how many times have you visited a website and left because it wasn't attractive to you or it was confusing about what the company was offering? If you want to use the feature where you raise your hand, you can do that. And just like how many times have you left a website because it was just confusing? You're like, I don't understand what it is that they're doing, or like the colors are off, there's like too much going on. How many of you have experienced that? Awesome. Yes, yes. So you want to keep that in mind for your business too. So don't look at it as only, oh, it's just them, the corporate companies or somebody else's business. You want to remember that for your own business, you want to make sure you're on point too. So it's your first impression. The clock is ticking. You have about 10 to 20 seconds to show why a customer or client should hire you or buy your products before they decide to leave your website. Because I did some research. I was like, let's see how long. Hold on. Do you guys still see my screen?
Yes.
You see the presentation still? Okay. That was weird. It just changed on me. Apologize about that. So yeah, so I did some research and it said that it takes 10 to 20 seconds. So we really have to get that in a quick nutshell of when someone goes to your website, that immediately they are interested, whether if it's like, ooh, nice pictures, let's see more. Or if it's, ooh, I like their messaging, I want to learn more. You always just want to gravitate, have them gravitate to something of your website. But where it also is an alignment. You don't want to just put anything on your website, but you just want to make sure everything is consistent and in alignment of what it is that you do, and that will draw the prospective customer or client to want to do business with you, or at least learn more information about you. So let's see. Does anyone have a website that they would like for me to go through and just give like a live short audit on it? If you do, you can put it in a chat. Let's see, just put your link, your website link in a chat if you want to do an audit. I'll give you a few seconds to do that. And if not, then I'll just do an audit of my own website. All right, so I am going to go to the next. I was prepared. So
Do MP services.
okay, well, let's do that then. All right, let me close this out. And I am there we go. mpservicesdc.com. All right, so this is MP Services website. So we're on their homepage. This is not my first time looking at it, but I am going to treat it as so. So the first thing I see is their logo. Their logo is very prominent. It says stream, organize, execute. So when I see that, I'm getting that they care about the vision, and they're about structure, and it's about actually getting the job done. And then I like these buildings. It gives me a city vibe. And when we see buildings like this, you're always thinking of like corporate. So I get like they're about their business. Um, then you see empowering minorities and women of color entrepreneurs to execute and succeed. So I'm clear of who their target audience is. It's minorities and women of color entrepreneurs. It says we create opportunities for networking, growing, and scaling your business. So you're clear of what it is that they do. The elements of business for women of color. So this looks like a infographic. So let's see, finance, understanding financial statements, credit, capital, equity, liabilities, budget projections and scalability, value, operations. So what I will say that this can throw someone off because it may not be so clear of why this is here. Um, I would probably, and especially because it's taking up majority of the page. So I would have probably done this a little bit different. Let's see. Yeah, because it looks more informational, but it doesn't really give me too much of what it is that you do. So like if this is a service, if you say finance and value operation support, I'm not getting that. So I'm taking it as it's informational. And then I'm also getting distracted by what's behind here. So the video that's behind here. So I kind of want to see like what's going on. So I probably would have done this where if the video, I'm making an assumption, but if the video is to show women of color and entrepreneurs, I probably would have had that at the top here, right above empowering minorities and women of color entrepreneurs, just the video alone. And then this part, I would have had it like by itself somewhere on here, or the elements of business for women of color. Yeah, I would have had this stand alone and not on top of this video. So that's the one thing I would change. And I would probably put this as a like a fun fact. Or I might have even would have put this as a blog post, where you could have probably gone a little bit more into it. Because now I'm trying to wonder if this is a service or something that you're doing. Because remember, I'm coming in looking for, okay, MP services, they reached out to me, told me I need to come in to check out what they offer. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for what it is that they offer. How can they help me? So I'm already for myself, I'm personally looking for your services. What is it that you're doing? So then we have MP services highlight. MP Services' mission and culture is to inspire and empower minority and women of color entrepreneurs to succeed by creating opportunities through training, networking, and closing the gender divide gap. Every month, we will highlight a client or company that has participated in our entrepreneurial training program and is officially a business owner. Please join us in welcoming November's highlight of the month, Sephonia Fight. So, this first paragraph, I probably would have had that more towards the top, like literally right underneath here, or call it either mission or about us. And then if there's a longer, let me just check here real quick. If there's a longer bio, then I would say like learn more and have it go to the about us page. But this is a little bit confusing. So I would just take this part out. And then I would say November's highlight of the month. So that is clear that it's, or November's or MP services. You don't even have to say MP services because we're on your website, right? So it could say business spotlight of the month, or if you want to say November's business spotlight of the month, and put that here. And then have this person here, like maybe just the photo of her, and then like a short bio of her information on the side, especially if you're going to fill it up with this space. I would do that. Now, if you don't want to necessarily fill it up with the space, like where it takes this whole entire space across, I probably would just do without this section here, and just have it where it's maybe if you wanted to show maybe one or two businesses that you're highlighting, and then it could just be 1, 2, 3, or 1 or 2. And then it could be learn more about that business and it could click to their website, or if they don't use websites, even though I'm talking about websites, why you should have one, to their social media or their contact place. So I probably would just make it clear like this is a business highlight, because now I'm thinking that this person at first glance, that this person works for the company for MP services. So if they don't work for the company, and this is at first glance because I get it, you have the information down here, I would think that they're a team member of MP services. Um, so yes, and then upcoming events, I think this is fine. Um, of course, we always just want to make sure that we update it, make sure that, like, because this was last week, but don't worry, I got you. That these things are updated. So you always want to update your website with the latest information. Let's see. So yeah, so this is fine. There could be another way of doing it so that there's not so much scrolling. It could be where it's a grid and show like maybe 3 to 4 across, especially if you have enough to cover that, 3 to 4 across. And it could take them with the button to the next event, or it could be one button and it could say view all events, and then it takes them to the events page that has all of the listing here. So that can be an option where it can just highlight some of the events here and then one button that says view all events, and it'll take them there, so that, because you don't want it to be too much scrolling, because somebody can get lost, or like I almost felt that we're not gonna stop scrolling, like we're gonna still keep going to the next event. So I could have easily just stopped right here and say, okay, I'm done with the website. But this is just my immediate reaction, right? As a consumer, there's nothing wrong, but I think that there could be a better way of exuding this information. And then now your services are all the way at the bottom. So this is a no-go, because if you're pitching your business, you want the first thing for them to see what it is that you're offering. Because like I said, I could have just stopped right here at global marketing and be like, okay, I'm going to move on. I didn't get what services that they're providing. So maybe they don't provide any services. So you want this to be probably right here, like right in this section after your mission statement. Then it shows your services. Then I would even put this information maybe a little bit towards the bottom, or it could be 2 columns where it has the highlight and then have this image on the right or the left side if we want to fill up this space. But your services are too far down that people may not even scroll this far to see what it is that you're doing. And let's see, learn more. As far as design, I probably would make these fonts a little bit bigger and try to have it as consistent as possible, or have a flow. So like maybe just formatting it a different way, or just having it where maybe the biggest paragraph is starting first, and then it kind of just, this is just visual. So there's like so many levels to website, which I am going to take a pause on because I could go so deep into it. But yeah, so far, I mean, it's pretty good, but it's just, you always want to make sure that your service is at the top, because remember I said you got 10 to 20 seconds to catch someone's attention. And if they're looking for your services and they have to scroll all the way down, you probably had lost them already. So let's see, trainings will begin January 2022. Check out our upcoming events and register today. I would probably, for learn more, I'll probably give a little bit more details of what that means. Because now I'm seeing trainings will begin January 2022. What is the training for? So if it's the entrepreneurship training support, Then I would say entrepreneurship training support will begin January 2022. And let's see, check out our upcoming events and register today. So this is a little bit confusing. Is it separate from, and this, like I said, I'm talking from a consumer perspective, but is the events, the training, the entrepreneurship training, or is it something separate? So we want to just be as clear as possible when we're talking about our services. And contact us, that's fine. I would probably, because you have it up here and being that this is a scrolling website where the header stays there all the time, you actually don't need to have this twice on here. You could just have the one up here. If your website was not like this where you don't see the header anymore, the navigation anymore, then I would say having the contact button at the bottom could work. But you can just have the one being that you're always going to see the menu navigation when you're scrolling. Let's see, funding is provided from the Enterprising Women of Color through a grant from the Department of Commerce, Minority Business Development. Um, I would probably need a little bit more information, like if that means for everything, that's for all the services that's happening on the website, or if it's just for one of these services, because then I would want to make sure that's clear of what this statement is for. And let's see, I gotta move you guys so I can see the bottom, the footer. Yeah, this is fine. The footer is fine. I think that you guys most definitely stuck to the brand colors. I think that works. So I'm assuming the brand colors are pink and black. So I think that you stuck to it. I would probably add some other complementary colors that can go with it, but I think this is good for the most part. So like when I see MP services and I see pink, I'm going to think of MP services. So that's good. That's what you want to have. Where people can recognize your brand from afar, or it reminds them, or if they see pink, it reminds them of your brand. So that's fine. So yeah, so this is the homepage, and so that was my feedback. Um,
Great. We have another one in the chat.
oh, let's see. By the way, I can be a little bit dramatic.
No, great feedback, actually. We can talk some more after the session.
Absolutely. Select, oh, I don't want to do that. Trickyentertainment.com. Trickyentertainment.com. All right, let me just get all this other stuff out the way. So Tricky, I like the logo. I think this is pretty cool. It's different. But I think this is kind of cool because it kind of plays off with the whole tricky aspect of it. So yeah, so that's nice. Let's see. So I'm seeing like it looks like artist, prominent. I get the name entertainment. But let's see. DC's premier entertainment company. Tricky Entertainment is DC's premier entertainment company. So this is repetitive. So I would probably come up with another headline here, or yeah, I would come up with another headline. And let's see. Our mission is to provide mature clientele with memorable and quality social networking opportunities. We utilize the finest venues with a mixture of live, local, and national artists and the area's hottest DJs for your enjoyment. We organize several unparalleled annual events, including Summer Breeze and the All Black Extravaganza that can be enjoyed with family, friends, and colleagues. Our upscale events always leave our patrons with great anticipation for the next Tricky entertainment experience. So, what I'm getting of what you offer is a few things which we probably would need to clarify, because I'm getting like event planner, I'm getting event promoter, I'm even getting booking agency. So I would probably be more clear of what it is that you offer. Um, within your service. And with these images that's up here, let's see, how would I want to do this? I would rather see the images of like the actual events you've done. And this is just me assuming that you're like an event planner. I don't know exactly what it is that you're doing based on what I saw read in the bio. But I would actually want to see what the work that you've done, and not necessarily so much of the people that you've worked with. Like they could be in the images, but if you did a concert, let me see them in concert. If you did a private event, let me see the DJ, in action. That could probably give me a little bit more insight, but I would probably put some more wording here, like either at the top or actually let me see, who put the website? Because I
I put that in
okay, what do you actually do?
there. We have events, so they're live music events. So that include wine festivals. They kind of concerts. So
Mhm.
wine festivals, the All Black Extravaganza, a Summer Breeze, and so I was asking a question about, you asked about pictures. So the pictures I think are there. They just are not on the homepage. So included in one of the tabs are pictures, I think.
Okay.
So,
Yeah,
but should they be on the front page?
I would say just a few, like just a few to highlight your work. And more than likely, you would want the pictures to be of like the audience and the performers, or
Mhm.
the experience. Because if you guys are providing experience, so now I'm clear that you guys present events, like you host events, you curate different types of themes of events and invite people out. So I would show the diversity of all the different types of events that you guys have, and just probably like 2 or 3 images of like your best events that you did thus far, and
Mhm.
have that up there. And then also maybe some wording, so like this is cool for the Cooling You fifth annual wine and music festival. Like I'm clear that there's an event that you're presenting. But when I was looking before, it had like, all these artists here. I wasn't clear of why they're here.
Mhm.
So I would either do images of the past events instead of doing it like this, or I would do something like this, where you have the upcoming event happening, and just maybe provide a little bit more information about the event. But it's just that there's too much stuff going on that at first glance, if I just stop here and I don't make it to the next slide to see all that you offer, I would have no idea what it is that you're doing. And
Right.
even when I read the bio, I was still kind of confused of what it is. Um, so it's like you can probably just change up the wording slightly of um, we host or curate events for your, ultimate, for your experience, for your pleasure. Like you can still use what you have here, but just making it clear that you're curating these events.
Okay.
Because I wasn't sure if you were booking people, and even if you are booking, um, depending on the audience that you want to your website, if the audience that's coming to the website are just those that are attending, then it doesn't matter who you're booking, in the sense of like how you're booking the events is just providing that ultimate experience. But if you want to use your website to pitch to the performers of why they should be a part of your event, then that could probably be a new strategy. So I think it's just kind of being clear of who you're targeting with your website as well, which I should have mentioned in the presentation. But just knowing who it is you're targeting and designing the website towards them. So if it's just for people to come and purchase a ticket and like see who's coming out to perform on whatever day, then you want to make sure that the website looks like that.
Mhm.
If it's to pitch the artist to say why we should book you. And then it could still have the same images, because you could probably have images of the crowd like having a packed crowd, because that's what a lot of artists care about, how many people are going to attend the event. So like you want to like have a just be clear of the audience that you're targeting. And as soon as I get here, I need to know what it is that you're doing. So maybe just adding some text at the top of, maybe this could be a DC's premier entertainment company, or maybe DC's premier ultimate events or experience, or it takes a lot of work to, well, not a lot, but you just could work it a little bit of like, what is the experience that you're giving to people when they're coming to the website. So I would probably put that right here at the top, and then with the images of the actual events that's going on, or if it's not at the top, then right underneath it of showing like the different events, showing your tagline of what it is that you're offering. The bio is fine, aside from just like mentioning that you guys are curating events. Let's see. Tricky's annual events. Summer Breeze is more than a party, it's a yearly lifestyle. Okay, so I just switched. I would I would probably just focus on what's coming up. Hold on, let me see where we at. We're on the home page. Okay, so I came down here. I see. It's I got it. Okay, I'm clear. Okay. I would because of the way the website is, where like when you go into a different section, it's technically going to another page. This may be okay, but I would always just want to focus on what's coming up right away. So even though these are yearly events, if there's something coming up in March, I want to see that first. And then also, wait, I just realized something. So when I get here, this says about. So I probably would reverse this. So where it says DC's premiere and all of this information, that needs to be in the about section. So that should be here. And then let's scroll down. Let me see. All right, so now this is events. So then this, I would probably just list them within the bio. But then when we get down here, I'm just gonna skip. It could show what's coming up, like the upcoming annual events here. And if it's available for purchase right away, then you can list it all. But if it's not ready, like if you guys don't have the theme or anything like that yet, I probably wouldn't even have it listed, but I can have it mentioned in the about, like these are some of our annual events, or and if you want to see more, go to our gallery so that they can see the visuals, the images. But I probably wouldn't list it in this way if it's not coming up. And then we just have to fix where it says, if I click on about, it's taking me to Tricky's annual events. And I feel like as a user, I would be looking more for the bio of the company going to the about page. Okay, so let's see what we offer. Okay. So this is classy events in the finest venues. We organize several unparalleled. Okay, so now I understand what it is that you guys offer. But remember, when someone's going to the website, we only have 10 to 20 seconds. So that needs to be somewhere clear at the top, because I may stop here and not even go all the way down. So I would probably move this up to like probably right underneath of the company's bio, and then the annual events could go after, or the upcoming events could go after. And then the gallery, this is fine. I would probably do 1, 2, 3, 4. I would probably make this 4 across and maybe do 2 rows and then have a button that says like view more and takes me to the rest of the gallery. because you don't want it, as I mentioned on the other website, you don't want it to be where it's scrolling too long because we have a short amount of time for people to like really get what it is that you're doing. So this looks like a recap. The recap could even be that video, like let's say if that's your current highlight of the month or the year, depending on how often you do events, that could be like right above, right after what we offer. So it's like, oh, this is what we offer. And then now I can see what it is that you offer. I can see the recap of the video. So you kind of want to like look at it as you being a consumer and the process that you're going through mentally. So it's like, okay, I'm on Tricky Entertainment. All right, Raheem Devon. All right, I immediately thought that you guys were like a management or booking company, like these are your clients. So, but if you had the images of the events, I was like, okay, I see they got some entertainment going on. And then it goes into your bio, got it, the curate events. And then, oh, here's the highlight. So the highlight video that could be here, like, oh, I think this is lit. I want to go. It's so packed. It's, whatever, most people say. So now they're being sold. So now they're sold into wanting to attend the events. So then next would be, here's what we offer. So here's what we, what we offer would be above that. Then it'll be the upcoming event. So now I'm ready to go to an event. I'm like, it's lit. This video looks lit. Let me go to it. This video looks lit. Like even just seeing this, I'm like, oh, it looks packed. Look like everybody have fun. So I'm ready to go. I'm ready to get my ticket. When's their next event at? So you just want to like look at that process of what people are thinking when they're going through your website. And as I mentioned, your homepage is the first stop. Your website is a little bit different because when you go into a different section, it's technically going to another page. So that's fine, but you just want to make sure that when they're scrolling, that they're still getting that experience. And it's psychology, it's mainly a psychology of like what people are thinking, what they're expecting. So just think of it that way when designing or updating your website. And then the videos, this is fine here. So it's like, okay, I can see a little bit more. And then the contact, this is fine. I think maybe just putting a little description of why they would be contacting. This is something that I realized for myself of what do you want people to contact you for? So do you want them to contact you to plan an event, to book artists, to whatever it is that you want people to contact you for, because you may not want general inquiries. So if you want to be clear why people should contact, or like if this is an email newsletter, just being very clear of what it is that you want to do. But so far, I mean, this is good. I think your colors, I see 3 different colors, black and red and orange. This is fine. I would probably mix it up a little bit more with adding some more of the red if you want to. But I think, yeah, so that's my feedback on
We
your
had we had another question. Brittany, are you still on? She actually sent a direct message. She's asking, she would like to know how you can clearly present 2 companies under one site. And
Ooh,
she has an address. It's LIVE Royal ROYALLY
Royally live.
22
Mm-hmm.
.net.
And
And
just
Brittany, are you still there? You can unmute yourself and you guys can participate if you have any feedback or questions.
Yes, I am still here.
awesome. Is this your website? Am I on the right website?
Yes, you are.
Okay, perfect. So I got your question with 2 brands, just quickly looking. I'm assuming these are the 2 brands, the Live Royally Network and the Live Royalty Collection.
Correct.
Okay. Um, okay, so let's see. What is Live Royally? Live Royally is a trademark brand that unites Live Royally Network and Live Royally Collection. So it's a for-profit and a nonprofit.
Correct.
The two entities complement each other to provide a variety of benefits to all stakeholders or partners, the providers, business networks, the private providers, Black-owned businesses, and the members, all consumers. Using our developing proprietary technology, we ultimately encourage economic partnerships that are mutually beneficial for all within the network and collection. Okay. So here's what I would do. Because technically, it appears to be 3 companies. So you have your main one. I'm making this up, but this is just how it appears. That you have your main one, which is Live Royally, and then you have another one that is the Live Royally Network, and then you have another one that is the Live Royally Collection. Is that accurate, or is it just the 2?
It's just the 2. So Live Royally, like just by itself, is more of just the brand. But it's not a company or, a corporation itself.
Okay. Hmm. All right. So if it's the brand, so it's like a movement. Live Royally is a movement.
Correct.
Okay. So I would do this. I would talk more about the movement itself and show the movement of what that looks like. And then I would explain a little bit more of what the network is and explain a little bit more about the collection, because I get that it complements each other, but it really doesn't tell me how each individual one functions. Because now I kind of feel like I have to do the 2, but what if I just want to do the 1? So I would just, with the homepage, I would probably just talk more about the movement. And then just as we had with the other websites where they had services, I would treat that section of your of your website as if these 2 things are services. You don't have to use the term, but I would treat it as so. And I would give more of a description of what each one does individually. And then I'll explain how they all do it collectively, how it works hand in hand. So I'm just going to scroll down a little bit more. So it says business setup. We can help you with your business setup process at federal and state level and are applying for your nonprofit's tax exempt status. Website design. Allow us to help you communicate your message to your clients with a clear, concise website. Trademarking. We can assist you with trademarking your unique logos and phrases. Consulting. We have years of experience in various areas related to business. Let us know what you need and we'll make it our effort to help you succeed. So my question with all of these, because I'm clear these are the services that you provide, which company does it go under? So that's what I would be questioning, especially if I don't click find out more, I would be questioning, well, where do these go? Is it under the network or is it under the collection? So that's where my mind would be at.
Okay, and that's understood. Hello.
Yes. And okay, stay up to date with the latest LRN developments by subscribing. This is fine. I also encourage getting names because, which I'm going to get to shortly. I think this is going to be the last audit I'll do, but you want to get as much data from the people that you are, that's leaving their information with you. So just getting their email address, you don't know how to address that person. So let's say their email is liveroyally22@gmail.com. Their name is more than likely not Live Royally. So you want to still get the first and last name of that person, email address. I also encourage phone number because you may want to start doing text blast. And as a possibility, you don't have to, but you can get birthdays, just in case if you want to keep the engagement with your customers, like, oh, happy birthday, your birthday's coming up. And depending on the service that you do or what you have plans to do with information, you can ask for address, but it's not a mandatory, but that's where it depends on what type of business that you do. So this is just in general for everyone, like just getting a lot more information from your clients or from the potential people that's coming on your site, because you don't want to address them as Live Royally. And I used to do that with my email list because I just thought emails was good, I don't need nothing else. And then when it was time for me to send out custom emails, I was like, dang, I don't remember their name. How do I address them? It feels weird to address them by their business name, and it's not personal. So just make sure you get that info. But now getting back to your question as far as the 2 websites, ideally this is what I would do, because let me see if I did this for my other website. I have plenty of websites. This one is kind of old now. I have not looked at it in a couple of years. I don't know how this looks like right now, but I think I did do where I have my businesses up here too. So let me see. I don't remember. So I'm an artist as well, so this is why it looks more artsy. Um, I probably didn't do it for this website. I think I did it for one of my older websites. Yeah, okay. So I think what you have here, Live Royally Network, Live Royally Collection, is fine to have that up here in your menu navigation, but I think it's just being more clear of what this is about with the services, of like, where does it go? So I would even probably so you could keep it like this, and then might probably do a bullet point of like, okay, here for Royal Network, you get business setup, website design, and I will say trademarking. And then for the Live Royally collection, it could be like apparel, merchandise, cups, whatever else. I don't know what goes under here, but I would probably just make it clear so that if anyone wants to choose, oh, I want merch, or oh, I want services, it's clear which brand to go to. So let me know if that's clear for you, because I feel like this was something I would probably sit on for a little bit to just figure out how to really effectively, but this is just me saying off the top of my head.
Okay, well, look, thank you. That was very helpful, and I understand. So thank you for for the suggestions.
You're welcome. I actually am curious to see where this takes me. Welcome to the Live Royally Network. Thanks for stopping by to see us. Take our quick surveys to determine if Live Royally Network is right for you. Okay, I am a Black business owner. I support Black-owned businesses. So yeah, most definitely I would have a little bit more details of what these 2 are, because I kind of felt like, okay, now I have to take a survey, and I'm not sure what it is that you do. And on here, it says find out more about LRN. So immediately my mind is looking for finding out more information, not necessarily being asked for a survey, at least not yet. So I would highly recommend to just at least put a little bit more information here. But yeah, okay. So I believe this was a good audit. All 3 websites were good audits to go through. So I am, due to sake of time, I am going to skip over mine, and I'm going to just go through some takeaways and as well as some other information for you guys to take home with you. All right. So the first thing someone should see is what problem you are solving. Have an appealing video or images of the product or service. Use wording that's clear about what you offer and or the result the person will get from using your product or service. Tell a story on your website. Have the flow of the site be easy to read and clear for the person. So just like with Tricky Entertainment, I was like, it should be a flow. so that you're going in the mind of what that person is doing or thinking. Don't be too wordy and don't put images or video that doesn't add any value to the website or what you do. Make your website as simple as possible. The ultimate goal is for the person to buy your product or services and do it fast or understand what it is they are getting. So I'll let you guys take a screenshot if you haven't, or take a picture. But these are things that you want to keep in mind when designing your website, especially if you're doing it yourself, because you want to make sure that the ultimate goal, like I said, is for people to purchase your product or service and do it fast. You don't want people to spend too much time trying to figure out what it is that you're doing and how they can support you or how you can help them. All right, so let's see. So here's also some other ways, which I briefly mentioned, of like now with websites, you can most definitely do payments. So utilize your website as a, what is it called? I'm going to say cashier, but like when you go to the store and you go check out, like, and they process your payments, like you want to treat your website as that. And with different website platforms or builders, they have integration like PayPal, WooCommerce, Shopify, Square that you can use, and it makes it so much easier for you to transact and get paid on your website, so that you don't necessarily have to always send an invoice. You can, but if you don't want to, you can always have people go to the website to pay. You could create a private link that for only the customers know to get access to. It doesn't have to be public. If you have a product, of course, you want the products to be visible and for people to pay. Maybe in another workshop, I can like go into more details of how to set that up, because websites can be a little complex, but it's very beneficial, especially depending on how you're trying to grow your business. So that's why I actually revamped my website, because I'm like, my website has to be different. It has to be simpler and also be effective for myself as well as the clients. So with that, there's customer or client portals that you can use. So I personally use Dubsado. So that's where people can book consultations with me, but I have it embedded in my website. Or you can build your own. That's actually going to be my next step in the third and fourth quarter of the year, of building my own online portal. I actually have done one for someone else, but I want to do one for myself as well, so that I can just manage all of that information on my website without me having to go so much outside of my website. Even I can log in, my customers can log in. So that's my ultimate goal for myself of creating. So, and there's also third parties that you can use like Zendesk, Bcita, Client Portal. There's so many more. I just put a few up here that you can use and integrate onto your website. All right, so growing and sustaining. So this is how your website can help you grow and sustain, by creating a database and also helping you with email marketing and automation. So, and the example of how these two work together, when somebody comes to your website and they fill out the contact form or the email newsletter form, you're now creating a database. You're collecting their names, their numbers, their addresses, their phone, birthdays, whatever information you want to get from them, you are collecting that now, and that's now your database. And with that database, you can also set up an email marketing. And with that, you can have it where somebody fills out the form and they receive an automated email. And that's where automations come in. So where you do things where you don't have to necessarily do the work yourself. So that's why earlier, where I said that, where you make calls and emails and text messages to grow and sustain a relationship with your client, there's so many tools now that you can use within your website to manage that for you, so that you can focus on scaling your business and just managing the work that you do, and not have to manage the day-to-day of making sure that people remember who you are in your emails, and updating them of what's going on, of your events or whatever it is that you have going. I get it. It's not easy, even for myself. Today I said, you know what? I'm creating all these email automations for everybody else, but I don't have mine in place. So I am doing that as well. But it's very beneficial. And when I was doing it more consistently, I've gained customers, because sometimes customers are not necessarily a right now, it may be a later. So even if you're not getting responses right away, by you consistently sending emails, whether if it's once a week or one a day, you're always at the forefront of their minds. They're seeing it. So if someone say, in my case, oh, I need a website designer, oh yeah, that's right, Empress can help me. And that's actually what happened a few times. I decided to say, you know what, let me send out an email blast, let people know what services that we have and what we're doing. And I've gotten clients out of that. And these are people that's been on my list since 2012. They all follow me on social media, but sometimes people don't remember of what you do, especially if they got other things going on in their life. So don't bank on that people know what you do. A lot of times they're so focused on what in their life that they may forget. But if you build that relationship by sending out those email marketing, those email blasts, and updating them of what's going on with your business, you're always going to be in the forefront. So I highly encourage that. And that's why I put it on here, even though this is technically not websites, but you can put this on your website and let that work for you. So I felt like that was very important to share with you guys. And as far as managing your database, you can use Google Sheets, Excel sheets. And I also provided a link in here. So when I think you guys get the slides. And if you do, you could click here and see all the different platforms that you can use to develop and grow your database. And here are some of the email marketing platforms: SendGrid, Constant Contact, MailChimp, ActiveCampaign, MailerLite. I have used all of them. They all have their pros and cons. You just have to look at what's beneficial for your business. And let's see. And we are complete. So just let me know if you have any questions. Here's my contact information. You can go to my website or follow me on Instagram and get to know me a little bit more and see some of my work. But yes, I am complete, and thank you everyone for being here. Give you guys a moment to screenshot.
Thank you.
We have any questions or?
Let's see.
What websites would you recommend if we wanted to try to do it ourselves?
I have one question.
Okay, so I'm going to answer the first question as far as what websites to use to do it yourself. I would say you can use either Wix or Squarespace. I've used them in the past, but now because I'm more on a developer side, I use WordPress. But I would say Wix would be most easiest because it's drag and drop. WordPress does now have drag and drop features, so that could be easy for you to use as well. But I would recommend most definitely Wix or Squarespace, especially if you want something simple and quick, where you don't have to necessarily do too much of the technical aspect of it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I have a question.
Sure. Yes, Melissa.
Yes, thank you so much for the wonderful information. It's really opened my eyes on how to visualize putting a website together. I'm an attorney in Detroit, Michigan, and for all of my practice, I've always gotten clients from referrals of other clients or from other attorneys, but now I want to move my practice into an online practice. And I'm wondering what your thoughts are regarding photographs. I'm hoping to reach the broader market, all ethnicities, including Caucasians. And I'm just curious to know whether I should put a photograph of myself on my website or not.
That's a good question. Here's what I'll say. At the end of the day, they're going to have to work with you. So don't feel like you have to hide yourself, because that's what I'm getting.
Yes.
That you don't feel like you have to hide yourself just to get certain clientele, because at the end of the day, they're still going to have to, and they're either going to work with you or not work with you, whether they meet you after the fact of getting on your website. So I would say go for it and put yourself up there. Just make sure that your image is presentable. Like do a professional photo shoot, get a headshot. Don't do any selfies, especially if you want to be taken seriously.
Right.
So I think that's what would make you stand out. I know I've heard talks about that all the time, like, okay, I want to get, all types of people. So let me not show myself, especially as Black women or Black individuals, we feel like we have to do the white look, or the white, I don't know what the word I want to say, but I feel like it's more in our culture where we feel the need that we have to do that because Caucasian white people, they don't feel like they have to hide themselves to get customers. It's only us that feel that way. So I would highly encourage you to show your face and show what you do, because at the end of the day, they're still going to have to work with you because you own the company, and they're going to choose to work with you regardless of how you look. So yeah, I just encourage you to don't hide yourself. They need to see all this melanin.
All right, great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, I love it.
Is there another question?
I have a question. Are there some websites that you would refer people to see some like exemplary ones, some ones that you think are really good?
Ooh, that's good. I would have to do some research to see what's out there, because I could be a little bit biased and think that the websites I've designed are really good. But I can do some research to see if there's any other ones that's out there that I think are really good. And also I'll try to do different industries, because I know everybody is in a different industry. So every industry has a different look or style to it. It's never one of the same. So like for instance, whatever advice I gave for MP services may be different for Tricky Entertainment. So what I'll do, I'll take some time and see if I can find some links, and I'll probably throw some of my own in there as well. And hopefully that could be helpful for you guys. So just give me 24 hours to do that.
Thank
Great information. And also, when you guys fill out the survey, I really like the audit, Impress. Maybe that's something we can revisit if, maybe they didn't share today. If they want to share, maybe we can do a smaller group and do it in more detailed. And then from that point, you can show them how to implement the changes that you're suggesting.
Sounds good.
So if you guys are interested in that, just indicate it in the survey, or you can send us an email. I'll put the email address in the.
And I did get a question in private chat, but I think it's a good question to answer to everyone. So I was asked, what can one expect to pay to have a website developed? So every website developer is different, and it also depends on what you want your website to do for you. So I would say that for industry standards, the minimum could be 1,500, and it depends on how that particular business do it, because some people do it by pages, some people may say unlimited pages, but that's just their rate. I've seen as high as $10,000 for a website, or even more. It all depends on the functionality. My rates starts at, to be transparent, my rate starts at 3,000, but that's because also you guys are getting a lot more. I'm looking at branding, user experience. I'm utilizing them all because a lot of times you don't know that you need these things in your website. So I'm looking from a public relations perspective. And I also do by the amount of pages. So the starting rate is 3,000 for mine, but it depends on how many pages you want us to design as well and what you would like for us to do. So every business is different, but I would say as far as industry standard, it could be between 1,500 to 10K, 20K, depending on what you want to do with your website. You're welcome.
Any other questions?
I think Octavio had a question earlier, but he didn't ask it.
Is he still
I
on?
have a
Octavia?
question, but I'd like to see if that be possible to pull my website and give me your opinion. That be, you have time to do that?
Not necessarily right now. I know Tara mentioned that we can probably set up another time to do that. If you want to do it outside of MP services, I would probably say schedule a consultation with me
Okay,
on my website, and then we can go from there. But I would probably recommend to do it through MP services.
okay, all right, thank you.
Yes, just send us an email, Octavio, or respond in the survey, and we'll collect that information and we'll arrange to sit back down with her and do a thorough review of a few more websites if you guys are interested. Are there any more questions? Well, thank you all for joining us. And if there are no further questions, we'll end the workshop. And again, encourage you to please complete the survey. Please follow us on social media and also visit our website that will be redesigned soon, mpservicesdc.com.